I love calls. If there's one thing I love, it's when someone makes a phone call to me and tells me what they think. Said somebody once, but not me ever. No, I'm kidding. I like it. Welcome to the Calls edition, where you get to say what you want, and now I will respond. I'm Chris Cuomo. Thank you for subscribing and following here at the Chris Cuomo Project. Now on Substack, where you can get ad-free content, where you can get earlier content, where you can sign on to be a member of a long COVID concerned citizen community, where we push for answers and we see what works for each other. And you will get access to me one-on-one and in group settings. Sound good? Good. Go there. If not, I'll see you at News Nation, 8p and 11p every weekday night. So here's what you had to say and what I have to say about what you had to say.
Well, I'm calling because you can't, there's a certain thing about free speech, right? You can't yell fire in a building. Now, I'm talking about these election deniers. When they say that the election is rigged without any proof, aren't they implicating other people when they say that? I mean, how can they say that? They're weakening our system. They're weakening our democracy by saying the election was rigged. They have absolutely no proof. They checked everything out. And in the last 8 elections, only one Republican won the popular vote. That was George W. in his second term. They haven't won Republican presidential candidates haven't won a popular vote in, 32 years. These people, when they say the election is rigged, they're implicating other people. That's what I'm saying. That's my point. It's like yelling, there's no fire. You're yelling fire in a building. You're not allowed to do that. You can't just say that. You're implicating other people. That's my point.
All right. First of all, you can yell fire in a theater. The legal test is actually more sophisticated than that. That's a little bit of a myth. Was what you said. What if you really believed there was a fire in the theater and you were wrong? All right, let's say you know there's not a fire. Well, did you know reasonably that it was going to cause the damage and injury that it did when people tried to run out? There are tests. It's imminency, what is said, how is it calculated, how specific it was. So the point is that there's a test. Let's be careful about what you can and can't do, what the law says. Now, can they say it was rigged when they have no proof? Yes. And they should be challenged and exposed. Should they be prosecuted for saying that? I say no. Should they be prosecuted for doing something in pursuit of their misplaced ideas and ambitions? Yes, if it is criminal. Not because it is inconvenient, not because it is disgusting, not because you don't like it. There's a difference. You have to be careful about prosecuting what you oppose. Legality and illegality is the bar. You don't prosecute opposition. Trump was wrong when he said lock her up, just to punish Hillary because he didn't like it. And by the way, he wound up knowing what that feels like because he's gotten his ass kicked legally ever since. And that's why you shouldn't chant things like that. You shouldn't need the courts to motivate your politics. And they can say it. It is not illegal for them to say it. It's what they do in pursuit of it, where the law should come involved. And what you need is more speech, not less. Don't censor. You should expose. I feel very strongly about this. And I know you do too. And I think we want the same thing, which is for people who are not acting in good faith to be exposed for that. The question is how. And I do not want to use the courts where they don't belong.
Hey, Chris. My name's Ricky. I'm 22 years old from Riverside, California. Kind of got to make this quick because I'm in the bathroom at work. My question to you, I am having a very hard time understanding this. Why is the mass media having such a hard time understanding the fact that UAPs, UFOs, whatever you want to call them, are real? There is proof that they are real because we have video evidence and they're just ignoring it at this point. When are we going to put our foot down and tell these companies this needs to be covered. There were F-35s refueling a jet or whatever it was, and a UAP clearly flew by, and the cameraman tracked it for around 15 minutes. What are we doing? How is this not national public news? Like, how is this not world news? What are we doing? This is ridiculous.
Well, it's been getting more and more coverage. I do it on News Nation all the time. I'm covering it from a transparency perspective. They absolutely know things, and I'm not in the little green men business. It's about transparency of what they know and what they don't, and what they don't even tell our elected officials. And that's, you want to bitch about deep state. That is an aspect of our agencies and our bureaucracy that has to change. These people should not be in control of what our elected leaders know. Because they're not accountable to people the way the elected leaders are. So they should be sharing information, or they should be explaining why they don't. So I'm all for it. And it's getting more and more attention. The reason it doesn't get more media attention is because people think it's a bullshit tin hat conspiracy thing about little green men. And it's not worth their time, because a lot of people in the media have an arrogance about them. We call them the high priests of news, where they believe that only they are the arbiters of what is worth your time. And then we wind up covering all this tawdry shit all the time anyway. So I am a believer in what you're saying and the need and urgency for the transparency, and that's why I'm doing it.
Hi.
Uh-oh. Is that a creep? Is that why you wanted to play that?
Hi.
This is from a caller named Crystal. I'll play it again.
Hi.
Hi. Is that you?
No, it's not me. It's Crystal. I'm not Crystal.
Aren't you?
No, I'm not Crystal. Hi. I'll play it again.
Hi.
Anything you want to say to Crystal?
Hi.
Anything you want to say? They took the time to call. I think they deserve a response.
I mean, it feels like you cut them off.
That's the whole call.
Oh. Call again, Crystal.
Great content.
Support for the Chris Cuomo Project comes from AG1. If you're a longtime listener, you know I've been drinking AG1 for over 5 years, okay? I started drinking it daily because it was easier, it was less expensive, and the thinking was done for me, okay? It's just a scoop and I'm done. One and done, as I love to say. It's because AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement that supports all my body's needs, the universal needs. What are they? Gut optimization, stress management, immune support. Since 2010, AG1 has led the future of foundational nutrition, continuously refining their formula to create a smarter, better way to elevate your baseline health. And that's why I'm into it. That's why I recommend it to you, to my friends, when people are getting over an illness, when they're worried they are getting ill, when they're trying to lose weight, when they're trying to create habits for themselves. I always mention this as a good ingredient to a better life balance. It is the supplement, AG1, that I trust to provide the support my body needs daily. Get an AG1 tattoo on my head? Not yet, but I do appreciate what they do for my gut. If you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/CCP. That's drinkag1.com/CCP. Check it out. Support for the Chris Cuomo Project comes from Sundays. This fresh dog food made from a short list of human-grade ingredients works. Sundays was co-founded by Dr. Tori Waxman, a practicing vet who tests and formulates every version of each recipe. I wonder if they eat it themselves. I hope not. Anyway, my dogs on video will show you how they savage this food. And I have already been changing up the food to get more sustainable types of food. But here's what I love about this, okay? This is delivered as kibble. And let me tell you something. It is a game changer because my fridge is not stuffed with dog food Chinese entree trays where, I'm worried that my son is going to grab one and heat it up one night thinking it's meatloaf and it may be human grade, but I don't want my kid eating it. You know what I mean? So the beautiful thing about this is it's easier to store. It's easier to feed. And I know the ingredients are right, and my dogs love it. And I know it's better for them. So, you want to get 40% off your first order of Sundays? Go to sundaysfordogs.com/Chris or use the code Chris at checkout. The Chris Cuomo Project is supported by All American Assets. Why? Well, because you need somebody to help you make the right decisions. Scary days in the stock market now. We work hard for the money, but very often you're at a disadvantage, right? You got smarter people who do this for a living, trying to find a way to take advantage of people like us. Here's the good news. Investing in precious metals, never been easier, and can absolutely help in balancing a portfolio. In the last 20 years, gold is up 400%. In the same 20 years, what's the dollar done? It's lost about 65% of its purchasing power. So, where do you go? How do you buy gold? What, am I going to put it in my basement? You go to American Assets, All American Assets. And you got a 401k from a previous employer, you got an IRA, you can just roll it over into physical gold and silver or buy gold and silver using cash by sending a check or wire. Check out All American Assets. They offer a wide selection of different commodities, gold and silver, all delivered right to your door in secure, discreet, fully insured packaging. Now is the opportune moment to start investing in precious metals, safeguarding your savings against these volatile markets. I do it. Don't miss out. Visit allamericanassets.com today to explore the diverse range of precious metals, including rounds, coins, bars, and you can sign up for a free one on One Gold IRA consultation. Okay? It's time to turn your paper savings literally into gold. Visit allamericanassets.com or go and text GOLD, G-O-L-D, to 1-888-390-2522. The Chris Cuomo Project is supported by Cozy Earth. Why? Because I like their sheets, that's why. A lot of people don't get a good night's sleep for a lot of reasons. One of the ones that you can control is bedding. 1 out of 3 of us report being sleep deprived. Okay, well, what is it? Well, there's stresses, all kinds of things. But the wrong sheets can make you hot, can make you cold. I'm telling you, I didn't believe it either. But Cozy Earth sheets breathe. And here's what I love about them. Cozy Earth's best-selling sheet is a bamboo set, okay? Temperature regulating. Gets softer with every wash. I'm not kidding you, all right? Now, so if you go to cozyearth.com and you enter the code Chris, and you can get up to 35% off your first order. cozyearth.com, and the code is Chris.
All right, and this is YouTube comments. This is from your recap of stories from 2023. At Tempest64 writes, I always find it humorous when I hear people point to China and India and say they need to do something about climate change as if they're not. Anyone that spends a few minutes looking into it can see that they're doing a ton of things. The issue is that they have billions of people, and so it'll take more work and longer for them. But those looking for an excuse to do as little as possible towards net zero, then they make a great talking point because of their big numbers. What this comment was getting at, by the way, is in that recap episode. I think we were opining about there are these numbers that came out and said if you got rid of China and India, the world would be at net zero, but you add them in, it's over that. But yes, to their point, yes.
Look, two things can be true at the same time, okay? Does America ask of itself, and is America pledging to the world to do more than other major economies? Yes. Why? America has often led the way. Why does America have an outsized role in paying for NATO? Because it's a bigger economy, because it's supposed to be a leader. The idea that India and China are doing just as much as we are, they just have more people, is demonstrably false, by the way. They do not have the same kind of requirements put on them by their government the way we do. And the question then becomes, the second aspect of two things being true at the same time, does it matter? Now, this is subjective. You could argue, yes, it does matter. We should not do anything more than anybody else so that we can stay competitive. Or, yes, because we believe in a higher good of doing as much as we can and it's on them to do the same. Pick your argument.
This is from your interview with Richard Cooper. At MetaPhysStore 0770 writes, does your guest actually talk to women about this? Is he's basing his opinion on workplace sexual harassment solely on his own observation? Is a woman ever going to feel the same trust after a sexual joke in the workplace? Does this guest ever actually ask women what they want in men? He's talking in third-hand info and female stereotypes. Very unprofessional journalism practices by him, in my opinion.
He's not a journalist. And he has a right to his opinion. And you have a right to do exactly what you're doing right now, which is why we did the segment in the first place, was to get people thinking about the issues that he raised and valuing them for themselves and responding. And what I would be careful about if I were you is that it's not just disagreement you want, it's condemnation of the person who disagrees with you. Now, if you want that in terms of people saying, I don't agree with him or saying what you're saying about his journalism, even though he's not a journalist, that's one thing. But if there are too many people who would say, and that's why he hates women and he should be thrown off the internet and he should never be able to monetize his thoughts ever again. That's too much. And it doesn't do anything to make the situation better. It just empowers the person who now seems to be the victim of the crowdsourced consequence. And that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to make things better where fairness and equity is more reflected in the workplace and in our relationships. That was the original goal of Me Too.
This is from your interview with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. She Sales 25 writes, where would we be without the vaccines for polio, smallpox, and measles? Remember how many people died because they refused to get the COVID vaccine? How many people lying sick in the hospital begged to get it once it was too late? It has definitely been politicized.
It 100% has been politicized. I do not believe that I have to speak for Bobby Kennedy Jr. He can do it for himself. I do not believe he is against all vaccines. I think that he had questions about the efficacy and understanding of the Operation Warp Speed vaccine and it being mandated despite the open questions about it, which I think is different. Now, has he overstated that proposition in the past? Is it something he's trying to back up on now? Arguably, yes. Does his book make a much more strenuous argument that seems more conspiratorial in nature? Yes. And that's something that will be a function of how people judge him now.
From that same episode, Vizant Bogo Eljub 3147 writes, 3 emojis of the Russian flag, followed by 988 0000000998833 245776546 78888 777 777 777 777 888 7888 888 88 744 333 4555 111 2222 11 111111111111111 0 10101010 7777777.
I'm going to punch you right in the
I'm
cheek.
just reading this user's comment. I have to start over again now. Okay.
No.
Bogo Eljub 3147.
No.
Well,
they won.
that's the whole thing.
Okay, whoever they are, they won. All right? I wonder if that was AI. Or you think it's a Matrix? You think it's the machines in the Matrix?
It could be. I mean, I didn't get to the end of it, but there is a dash in there.
No, that's all right. I was about to do something to you, by the way.
What was that?
Huh? You weren't going to like it.
Well, I don't know what you're going to do. I mean,
you know what I was.
I have no idea. I'm just reading this user's comment.
No.
For all I know, they're going to unsubscribe from this channel that we work very hard to produce.
You were asking for it.
Asking for what? I'm reading. The people have questions and comments. I'm just trying to get your take on them. I'm a conduit.
You're a conduit, huh?
I'm a conduit.
Every time I hear that word, it reminds me of a song. If you can think of the song that I'm thinking, I'll even pronounce it the way it's pronounced in the song, as much for you as it is for Amrish.
Taco Grande by Weird Al.
Close.
Parody of Rico Suave.
Close.
Close.
Came to a toll, paid, and went through it. Got in my ride down the conduit. Look at him typing his fucking lyrics in. I lost my wallet in El Segundo. Tribe Called Quest.
There it is.
Tacos.
Okay, good. This is from your episode about social media and how it doesn't reflect reality. Full Metal Napkin writes, doubt you'll read this. So already we've proved him wrong. As an independent that has voted Republican the last 10 years, Chris, I'm glad we've gotten this version of you. You were one of the few reasons I watched CNN. I wish we could have gotten this version of you on the big stage, but I'm glad to see you, quote, be you, unquote. You seem more comfortable and relaxed speaking your mind. I'm glad to see you do rounds on other podcasts that I also listen to. I wish you the best in 2024. Thanks for the refreshing content. 23 people like that comment.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the good word. I don't get the difference thing. I mean, we hear this every once in a while. I think people judge the person by the platform. So if you're at ABC or CBS or NBC or the Daily Mail or wherever you are, they see you as a reflection of that place. Sometimes that's true. Sometimes that's not. I really don't feel that I'm that different. I think that what has changed is just my sense of purpose about why I'm doing this. But I'm not a different person. And it's not like I was pushing an agenda then that I'm now pushing a different agenda or something like that. It's just not true. But I appreciate the interest. And it is interesting that you're independent, but you voted Republican for 10 straight years. That either tells us that you're really a Republican, or, which is fine, or the choice structure just sucks. And you wind up finding yourself into a battle of which is worse.
From the same episode about social media is not reality, at stupid_roofer 6447 writes, yes, because of people like you. You are not an outsider, Chris. You, sir, are part of the machine. How can you call yourself an outsider when you were on prime time at CNN? I'm truly living in a world I don't understand. You think we just forgot? How about you just go over to the Daily Wire with all those failed theater kids grifting as conservatives making creepy movies? You would fit right in. All of you people are insufferable.
That's a pretty big basket he's putting me in. Daily Mail.
I've seen you act. Yeah, you could act.
I actually suck at acting.
No, when we first started doing this podcast, I remember you were like doing an impression of like an actor or something, and it was pretty good.
Well, I can do Bernie Sanders. I can do.
Okay, let's hear it.
But
no, let's give the audience that you're Bernie.
The nature of your criticism makes no sense to me. I would like to say, let me reset. Ready? Look, you can feel one way that you want to feel about what it is. All I can tell you is there are several things in this country that need to be addressed. And one of them is absolutely the gap between the rich and the poor.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Can you do out Trump?
No.
Oh, come on.
No.
Okay, what about Mike
No,
Lindell?
that's really it. I really
That's the only
Lindell.
impression?
I actually had Lindell on my show. So look, you can feel any way you want to feel.
De Niro?
Can I answer the question? You can feel a little bit.
See? Okay, good.
You can feel any way you want to feel.
Pacino?
But, hooah! Okay, here's my case. All right. I've always been perceived as an outsider in this business, regardless of my position within it, because of the culture of the media. People didn't accept me because of my name. I couldn't get hired initially. It was always something that I had to overcome and deal with. I have never been buddies with the DC cabal. I never hung out with those groups. I always had a much more expanded palette of having relationships with people across the spectrum, as opposed to in the little cliques that they form. And I've been attacked by the media, I think, as much as just about anybody in it as a journalist, which is proof of that. There's a rejection principle there because I reject a lot about the culture and I'm outspoken about it and always have been. Now, you can say, yeah, but you work in it, so therefore you are it. Okay. I just don't agree with your level of analysis. Tucker Carlson worked at Fox News. He worked at MSNBC and CNN. Is he part of the establishment also? He's Mr. Renegade, right? Elon Musk is the owner of a major corporation, but now he's anti-establishment. It's not your position, it's how you use it and what you do and what you say that ascribes the value to you in terms of your posture towards that industry or any others. So I think what you're doing here is venting and kind of mistaking feeling for fact. And that's okay. It's pretty common. And you can find me insufferable anyway, but you need to know this. I don't give a shit how you feel about me as a person. You have to know that. I don't know you. You are of no consequence to me in terms of understanding your power or agency. You're just a crank. And in my mind, my world, that's all you are. Doesn't mean I don't respect you. That's why we read your comment and I'm responding to it. But don't kid yourself, okay? You can hide behind your little keyboard and you can say whatever you want to say. But if you don't know me, your opinion of me is of very little concern to me.
You care to leave the audience with any other impressions? Steven Tyler?
I'm not even happy with the Bernie Sanders.
I mean, it was fine. Come on, we got
fine.
There's so many people we could.
I don't do impersonations.
Well, I'm just. If you want to broaden your horizons,
do you have any?
Not really.
Then why are you coming at me? You're the comedian.
I know, but this is your show. I'm trying to set you up for success.
Thank you.
Like, let's hear your impression of Doug Emhoff.
This is not the way to set me up for success.
Well, okay, Doug Emhoff.
I don't even know who that is.
The second gentleman, Douglas Emhoff.
Oh, you mean
Kamala Harris's husband? Yeah,
husband.
The second gentleman. Nobody knows who this man is. Doug. This is a major program. Come on, you can't even do it. Of course, you can't do an impression of the man.
It's proof that I'm just an outsider. It's proof that I'm an outsider. I didn't even know who that was.
Apologize to Mr. Emhoff, second gentleman.
Not a chance.
No, I'm saying we. The show apologizes. Oh. You might not, but we, the royal we, apologize.
I don't know him. I've never met him. I don't know.
All right, so it'd be a pretty bad impression.
That was fortifying. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Until the next time, thank you for subscribing and following. I hope to see you on the Substack. I'll see you on News Nation, 8p, 11p every weekday night. Until then, there's no ducking reality. You just get to decide how to respond to it. So what do you say? Let's get after it.